Hey guys, so in this video I'm just going to be showing you guys how I do my oxtails. So before I decided to actually record this video, I had already seasoned it. So I'm just showing you guys what I use. I use 2 different oxtail seasonings, some onion powder, some mustard powder. I also grated up some ginger and some garlic, and I use some browning to give it a little, color. So here you can see I'm just heating up my pot to throw in my oxtails. I'm going to put in a little piece of, I think it's like ginger or garlic, just going to toss like a little piece in just to see when my pot is going to be hot enough, because you want to throw in your oxtails when your grease is literally like sizzling. You want it to be extremely hot. So these are my oxtails, all nice and seasoned. Yes. And I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna I'm trying to check to see if my oil is hot enough. So I'm gonna throw that little piece in, and we see it's bubbling, and that's what we want to see. It was kind of popping something serious, so I had my camera girl back up a little bit. But yeah, then I just throw it in. See that nice steam and that bubbling? Unfortunately, it's a voiceover, so you can't really hear the sizzle, but you want it to be a consistent sizzle. You don't want it to die down once you put the meat in. So that's why you let it sit for like a couple of minutes. Like usually it's like 2 minutes, just to make sure it's hot enough. So as you can see now, I'm just going to keep mixing it until I'm ready to add in the water. You want to get it as nice and brown, if you know what I mean. Like you see I didn't, and I also didn't use a lot of oil. I didn't use a lot of oil because I didn't want it to be oily, because I didn't want to have to drain it. And because then once you drain it, it'll lose all the flavor. So as you can see here, I'm just sitting there and I'm just mixing it, making it get nice and brown, and so it can suck up all that seasoning that I done put in there. And I'm pouring in the water now, and I actually used boiling water. I didn't I had boiled it, and then it took too long. I took too long to use it, so then I had to boil it again, and you notice I didn't boil it long enough. Like I didn't wait for the kettle to start to whistle. I just threw it in because it was hot. But normally I like to do it when it's like bubbling, so like it starts boiling ASAP before I put the thing on there. And you can see here, these are my vegetables that I'm going to be putting in. We got green, red, yellow peppers, some grated carrots, tomatoes, red onions, and I used red potatoes. The red potatoes was not specific, it's just that's the only thing that I had. So, and I put all in Tyme. And I put the seasoning in there. I put it in the bowl that I had my oxtails marinating in, just to, get the rest of that seasoning that was just there, left behind. So here we're going to be, I cooked jasmine rice with it. So here I'm just washing my rice. I'm only going to show you, I think, like 2 times I washed it. But I do it until, you see how the water is like cloudy. I try to get it, I wash it as many times as I need to until that cloudiness is gone. I don't want that starchy cloudiness in my rice, so I literally just keep washing it and washing it until it goes away. Then we go ahead and put it on the stove, and this is how I do my rice. People can do their stuff differently, but this is how I do it. It works for me. Everybody eats it. It's good. If you shelly, we're fine. So I just take the chunk of butter and I put it in there and I just mix it around, because I noticed that some people, when they do their rice, they just like let it sit there, so it just kind of just stays in one spot and the whole thing doesn't get buttery. This way, when I do it this way, it gets nice, like all the butter is going to be boiling into the water and the rice, so you get butter everywhere. And I need to put some salt in, so I'm gonna put in that's pink Himalayan salt. Once again, nothing special about it, I just used it because that's all I had on hand, and it's actually a little bit healthier, but that's all that I had in my cabinet. So I go ahead and mix that in with the butter, and then I put my top on, and then I'm good. So here we have my vegetables that are going into the pot again. So what I actually did was I added in some allspice, and I used a little bit of Maggie seasoning because I didn't put it on my oxtails, so I put it in there, and I used a little more oxtail seasoning just to get it, like, I want, because I ended up actually adding more water off camera. I didn't show that part, but I did add a little more water so that the vegetables can be, because obviously when it cooked down in the pot, some water went down, but we needed to go back up so we can get those vegetables cooked. That's me struggling to get my grated carrots out, but we got it. And yeah, so we're just gonna mix it on up, and then I'm going to not cover it with the pot for the pressure cooker, but I end up using just like another regular cover to cover the meat, like, because the meat is just like, it's practically done. Now we just want to cook down the gravy and cook the vegetables. That's pretty much all we kind of doing at this point. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm getting a pot, a top that's going to fit there, because we don't want them to pressure cook, because what will happen is they'll overcook and that will be gross. So here the vegetables have cooked, so we're just adding in some ketchup just to help it help the gravy there thicken up. So I added a little more off camera, and I also actually put a scotch bonnet pepper in there as well, but it was a green one because the oxtail seasoning is already kind of spicy itself, so I didn't want to put in a really hot one. So I just put in a regular green one, and here's the meal. This is once all the gravy has cooked down and it's a nice thick consistency. We got my rice, and you see I made some coleslaw too. I know it's a little bit runny, but that's it. Thanks for watching.